name is Jevwe Mukoro, and I'm the designer, creative director, and the owner of Flattered Culture. Basically, the history of Flattered Culture starts from the need to create something different, the need to be different from what everybody else does. And so I started about, give or take, 5 years ago, officially, in Nigeria. I got the basics from a local tailor. Started learning how to sew and cut strip lines and the whole nine. Getting the basics down pretty much. And from there, I had an interest to make my own type of style, which was a little bit different from what the traditional tailors were doing. Hence, decided to create my own type of line, which gave birth to Flattered Culture. Now, 3 years ago, I officially made it a business, and ever since it's been one challenge to the other, and just growing and growing as a brand. So a lot of people don't know this, but I started out there by making footwears, and that was like way back, 7-8 years ago, I think. Anyways, so yeah, started out by making footwears, started having a business as of then, started creating different stuff for different clientele, really. And the need for just expanding my business started out, and I thought about fashion as being the next outlet for me to go into, because I felt there was something different that I could bring into the business of fashion in Nigeria. How did I discover Culture Shock? That is an interesting story, I'll tell you that. Right around 3 years ago, when I started the company with friends, we were in search of putting ourselves out there, which is, the avenue we thought about was doing fashion shows. And so I had an Instagram page that pretty much showcased a little bit of some stuff I did. I was still doing t-shirts back then. So a friend of a mutual friend, I guess, hit a friend of mine up, and she said that she might have a good avenue for us to showcase our collection or just our work. She was a fan of the work back then. Salome, that's her name. Never forget. Salome, yeah. And she basically got me in contact with Anita, and the rest is pretty much history. My experience with Culture Shock has been, in my perspective, a growing experience. To be honest, it was one of the first major fashion show I did, and that was in, I think, 2013. Was it 2013? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was the first. That was like the second Culture Shock event. They did one a year before. I wasn't around by then. But the first one was phenomenal because it gave me the buzz I needed at that point in time. It gave me an outlet. It gave me an audience. It was the perfect place to be. It was the perfect fashion show to be in as at that time. And that been because, as at 3 years ago, I was still very new in the fashion scene in Atlanta. That was my second year in the country, in total. The second one was also just as great. It was bigger, it was bigger, and it was also an inspiration, really, to want to do more. Just looking at Anita, Pop, looking at what she's been able to accomplish just as a person, also being a woman.
Don't make me cry, okay?
It's always nice to see young Africans, doing things that you would not expect a lot of Africans to do with not as much support, I guess. It was a challenge, really. That's all I can say, And she did a great job at at some point in time containing our emotions, but you know, sometimes, like you know, I understood the fact that when it comes to organizing shows like that, with that of that magnitude, dealing with people definitely becomes a very tough challenge. You know? And so, yeah, I mean, I have nothing but positive thoughts about my experience with Culture Shock. It's definitely been very beneficial to myself as a person and to my business, credit culture. It's been an experience. It's been fun. You know, it's been eye opening. It's also been a big network. Credit culture is going at a different trajectory. Let me put it that way. In the fact that we are not exactly doing fashion shows as much as we used to. And that's partly because we're working a lot more on the business side of things as opposed to just focusing so much on the creative side of things. It's a conscious business decision, you can call it that. A lot of people have been asking me about a female collection. I'll tell you this: we do men's like right now, and we are at a point where we're trying to perfect that market. And as soon as we're done perfecting that market, we can definitely assure the ladies out there that we'll be coming out with a female collection. It should be sometime soon. I cannot be specific about dates or time, but soon enough, we should be working on a female collection. Prior to that, we'll be dropping a fall collection. Hopefully, if we are able to do that based on time and just business constraint, we might be dropping a fall collection very soon. And that might be the reason you might not be seeing Trader Culture in Culture Shock this year, because we are working at perfecting our company. We're very big on customer service, so we're not just gonna put stuff out there that is not exactly up to par in that sense. And even though the whole model of the company is go against the grain, we also want to give people what they will be happy seeing, as opposed to just putting stuff out there that's not quality enough. For young designers out there, which would be myself, really, to be honest, Reddit culture is still growing. That's the one way I can put it. Shredder culture is still growing. We're still a baby company. You can call it that. Even though we have some appeal here and there, we're still growing as a business. We're still growing as a creative entity. We're still growing as just people. You know. And so it feels weird sometimes when I have to talk about that, because I'm also still learning a lot of stuff right now. My introduction to the fashion world wasn't like the typical, oh, go to fashion school and you already know what you're doing. I just dove into it because that's what I saw myself doing. And with that comes learning a lot of stuff along the way. And if there's anything I can tell anybody out there, it would be, well, a few things. One of them would be start. It's just as simple as that. Just start. You have no idea what it is you will find out along the way. But if you do not start, nothing would happen. You have to be confident in yourself enough to bring out whatever it is that you feel is your creative side. Just do it. It's more easier said than done. But I think that was the smartest thing I did, to be honest. As a business and also as a person, just go, and I just started. I didn't wait around to make sure I got all my facts right, and I did all my research, and everything was dotted to the T, and no, I just started. The second thing would be understand that your dreams, your creativity is very valuable. As a person, as a human being, as a business, as anything, you are you're perfect enough to bring whatever it is you want to bring into the world. I had those periods in time where I had to, think about things as being, you know what, maybe this wouldn't work, but I didn't stop. I didn't stop at just saying, you know what, maybe this is not right. No, I did it. I just did it. I just had to, push myself. The third thing I would say is in business, in life generally, it's a journey. It's a journey in which you learn a lot. I think a lot of people make the mistake of seeing the destination as being, it. No, your journey is the destination. That's how I choose to see things. I mean, my see things a different way, but that's how it works for me, because you learn a lot in life. You learn that by going through life. It's a beautiful journey. It's gonna be very challenging at some point in time. You're gonna have to deal with people. You're gonna have to deal with just forces that are beyond your control. It could be anything. It could be family. It could be friends. It could be relationships. It could be anything. But it has to mold you as being the person you are destined to be. Really. So where do I see Culture Shock in 5 years? Global. That's the one word I can think about right now. I like to see it draw a lot more crowd from a wide variety of ethnicities. Indian, Chinese, Europeans, and Africans definitely. Oh, just a very big crowd. A very big crowd, and also doing this at a very big stage. And when I say stage, I don't mean like a particular location. I mean just like socially, and something that would draw as much crowd as 2,000 or 3,000 people. Should be something that some people talk about. Something that they're looking forward to being in. Being a part of. Either being a model or just being an attendant, either being a designer or whatever. I like it to have draw an international crowd also. And I also like it to be in like different locations in different countries. Africa, Europe, Asia. Alright. So this is Jevwe Mukoro signing off. And just generally everything I've said, I'd like to thank Anita. Okay, I know she wasn't expecting that. She was expecting some very funny outro, but there's a surprise factor. I'd like to thank her for everything. Being as supportive as she has been so far. She's like one of my biggest fans, really. One of them. And she's been really, really extremely supportive. She's a beautiful person inside and out. She has a funny moments, but yeah. You get what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I was supposed to do this outro, right, and do this, but I changed my mind.